Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth, and welcome to another time-lapse video. I'm trying something new here where I'm recording my voice instead of typing out captions. I thought that would be more fun and easier to watch. So here I am starting to figure out the shapes using Payne's Gray. Sometimes I just start right away with the darkest colors. It won't get even darker. I use my favorite paint, which is Dr. P.H. Martin Hydrus Fine Art Watercolor. It's basically an ink because it pretty much stains the paper and it won't budge once it's dry, so you have to work fast. One thing I like about it though is it's not ink, because if it's on your palette, I use ceramic palettes, it can be re-wet. So one drop can go for a while. I've had some of these paint bottles for over 10 years and they're still good because they just last forever. So I love that about them. Now you can see I'm painting the greens. The kelp comes in all different colors. There's bluish kelp, there's yellowish kelp, there's even some reddish kelp, which you'll see later. And I also want the image to be visually interesting, so I can't just have the same green. Everything has to kind of stand out differently, just so it's not a big green blob. So the book is actually set in 1899 off the coast of Massachusetts, and back then there used to be these epic kelp forests off the coast, and there's still one in existence. It's called Cash's Ledge. It's off the coast of Maine, and it's an underwater mountaintop that's this amazing ecosystem with this kelp forest and all kinds of sea life. So the author had me look at pictures of Cash's Ledge to see what the coast underwater used to look like back in the day. Here's that reddish purple kelp, very interesting color. And I like that it adds, I don't know, a different element, a little pop of color, just more visually interesting. And the octopus is red. Now under the character Morgan is where the type goes, the title of the book. There's a lot going on down there, but I'm going to have it faded back a little bit, and also I could do that digitally to fade it back so that the title stands out. But I want the picture to be interesting on its own, so I don't want it to be a big boring area, so I like that the octopus and the fish are there. There's that big eye. The book is called Morgan and the Monster of the Deep, so the real juice of the cover, I guess, is the interaction between Morgan and that giant eye, the monster. And you know it's a big one, but you're not sure what it is yet until you read the book. And now I'm defining the kelp more. Kelp's got, well, there's different kinds of kelp, but it has very interesting textures, lots of frilly bits. It kind of curls around as it flows through the water, and it's also kind of translucent, which was a challenge to show that it has this translucent quality. So you'll see I'm adding blue, like the blue of the water behind, and then where it curls around it gets darker, where it overlaps with each other. defining the kelp even more. It's all about layering the color. So now you'll see me getting dark with the water. Just everything gets darker, more defined, more vibrant, layer upon layer. Since I work with these watercolor inks, it's easier to do layers because it doesn't mess with the layer underneath. Returning to Morgan, you can see there's just a lot of the work that goes into it. Just building layers, making colors darker, refining details. She doesn't stand out right now, so I have to make her stand out more. Morgan and doing much finer detail in the face now. The painting's almost at the point where the watercolor portion is done, and then I'm going to seal it with matte medium so that I can paint on top of matte medium with the acrylic wash. Sometimes you just can't go much farther with the watercolor before you might mess up the paper with just too many layers, too much water. So I usually do 3 layers of matte medium, and it takes around an hour to dry between the layers. And it seals the paper very nicely. And now I work with the acrylic wash. Acrylic wash is more opaque, so it's good to do highlights and fix any mistakes. Another reason I cover it with matte medium is so I work with the acrylic wash and it won't mess up the paper underneath, it won't wipe anything away, but also if I mess up with the acrylic wash, because it's on this kind of plastic surface, I'm able to scrub it away if I need to and repaint. So I'm touching up the face, I'm adding highlights to the shirt, glints to the hair. Now the painting is very nearly done, just making things darker, making things lighter, adding some texture to the fish and the octopus. I then varnish the painting, which I forgot to film, but I use a spray varnish called Kamar varnish, and it just makes everything come together really well. It makes the darks darker, it makes it more vibrant. And now for everyone's favorite part, peeling the tape off. It is now a finished painting ready to scan. Nice crisp edges.